निषिद्धैरप्येभिः लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्न मुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिं नो नयनसुभगाम् अस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम्. We finished with the Praveshaka, where the Rakshasa and the Rakshasi have come in, and they both have given us the background of what is going on with the Mahabharatam war. So a lot of people have died, and right now where we ended was, so there is a sound that comes from the Nepatyam, from behind the screen. So Rakshasi asks, she says, what is happening? So Rakshasa says, it is Drona who is getting killed by Drishtadyumna. Kesheshu grihitva. So Yesha kalu Drishtadyumnaha. Drishtadyumnena Dronaha Kesheshu akrishya asipatrena vyapadyate. So Drona is being killed with his sword by Drishtadyumna. Rakshasi says, okay, come, let's go and drink the blood of Drona. So he stops her and says, Brahmana shonitam khalu etat galam dahat pravishati. As it enters the throat, it is going to burn the throat as it enters. So let's not do that. Rudhirapriya punarapi eshaha mahan kalakalaha shruyate. What is this? Again, there is a big sound that is coming from behind the screen. So he says, Vasagandhe eshakalu ashwathama akrishta asipatra itayeva agacchati. Kadachit Drupada Sutaroshena Avamapi Vyapadayishyati. So Ashwathama with the drawn out sword, he is just approaching us, and in his anger he might kill us also. So let's move out of his path. Atikramavaha iti nishkrantau praveshakaha. Now the entry of Ashwathama. So suddenly if a person just comes in with a sword, we won't know. It is a battle scene. We won't know who is the character who is coming in. So Rakshasi and Rakshasa, through the Praveshaka, they have introduced the character who is going to come in, and we understand that it is Ashwathama as soon as he enters. Because nobody comes and says, I am Ashwathama here. There is not an attendance here in the drama. Yeah? So nobody is taking attendance. So we have to, there are clues that come up with which we understand who the character is on the stage. So Tatav Pravishati Akrishta Khadgaha Kalakalam Akarnayan Ashwathama. So Ashwathama is listening to the sound that is coming from behind the screen. So we have to understand how the character should play. One sound should come from one side and Ashwathama should come from the other side. As he comes in, he is listening to the sound which comes from Drona's killing. Okay, so Akarnayan, he is listening to that sound and he is entering with his sword drawn out. And he is saying the following shloka. Ashwathama, he thinks it is his father who is making this noise. Mahapralaya maruta kshubhita pushkaravartaka prachanda ghana garjita pratiravanukari muhuhu rava shravana bhairava sthagita rodasi kandaraha kuto adya samarodadhehe ayam abhuta purvaha puraha. First he describes the sound, and then in the next shloka he says it could be only my father. So kutaha adya samarodadhehe ayam abhutapurvaha ravaha. So where from is this abhutapurvaha ravaha? Ravaha sound which is abhutapurvaha. There is this sound that is coming from somewhere. Where is it coming from? Which has not seen, which we have not heard before. Puraha, in front of us. Samarodadehe abhutapurvaha ravaha. A sound that seems to come from the battle which is like an ocean. Samara udadehe panchami vibhakti atra. So samara samudrat ravaha kaschana agacchati puraha. In front of us there is the sound that is emanating, which is, everything else is an adjective to this. So there are only 3 adjectives. Okay. The first one, simpler ones is Shravana Bhairavaha. Abhutapurvaha is that which was not seen before, or which had not happened before at all. It's a very new kind of sound that is coming about. Shravana Bhairavaha, that which is very terrible to the ears. காத புடைக்கிற மாதிரியும் இல்லையா அந்த மாதிரி. ஸோ இட் இஸ் சம்திங் தட் இஸ் எக்ஸ்ட்ரீம்லி டெரிபிள் டு தி இயர்ஸ். ஸ்ரவண பைரவः. ஸ்தகித ரோதசி கந்தரः. Rodasi Kandaraha, it seems as if it has completely stopped or it has completely enveloped both Rodasi. Rodasi is Dyava Prithivi, Bhumi, and the intermediary thing, Akasham, is Rodasi here. Okay, so Dyava Prithivi, the hollow or between heaven, Swarga and earth, Prithivi, is that Rodasi, the space. So Rodasi is actually in Dvitiya Vibhakti, Rodasyau Dhyava Prithibhyau. So you take it as the space in between the earth and Akasha. So Sthagita Rodasi Kandaraha. Rodasi eva Kandaraha atra. So there is a sort of a space or a guha, a cave that has been formed with the Swargam and the earth, Bhumi, and there is a space within which is like a cave. So that is why there is an echoing of the sound also. So Rodasi Kandaraha, the cave in the form of the cave or the hollow which is in between the heaven and earth, which in between Swargam and Bhumi, has been completely sthagitam. Sthagitam na stopped in eduthupo. So here you take it as it has been completely filled to the brim. No other sound seems to come out and all we can hear is only this sound. It is actually filling up our ears. But the effect is such that it seems to have filled up the entire space between the earth and Swarga. So Shravana Bhairavaha and Sthagita Rodasi Kandaraha, it has filled the entire space. Muhuhu, again and again there is this sound which keeps coming again and again. The other word is, it is a big word which goes from the first line to the second line. So Mahapralaya Maruta Kshubhita Pushkaravartaka Prachanda Ghanagarjita Pratirava Anukari. I'm just going to look at this Vyakhyanam so it is easier and it's in one page. So Mahapralaya Maruta Kshubhita Pushkaravartaka. Pushkara and Avartaka are types of clouds, are different kinds of clouds which usually are present during Pralaya Kalam. Pralayam is where Jagadatra liyate iti karanat pralayaha ityuchyate. So at the time of dissolution, at the time of complete annihilation, there is wind and there are clouds which come and pour rain. The entire earth is flooded with water. So it becomes submerged again and there is only water everywhere. So that is the Pralaya Kalam. Okay. So Mahapralayam. Mahapralayam here is usually, there are actually 5 different types of pralaya that are described in Puranas. One is Nitya Pralayam, when we sleep and wake up. That is supposed to be a Nitya Pralaya, where the Jiva goes and completely merges and again comes about. It is like the world is new for us. Also, there is this Pralayam after 4 yugas. There is a Pralayam after 1 Kalpam. And then there is a pralayam after Brahma's entire 100 years are over. That is called Mahapralayam. So when a Mahapralayam has to happen, there are winds that come and blow to enable the clouds to pour rain also, and அந்த ஒரு என்ன சொல்றது, to give the effect of hurricane and typhoon, etc. So you have a big wind that comes during pralayam, which kshubhita, which agitates the clouds called pushkara and avartaka. So there are actually 4 types of clouds that this author gives at the end here. So avarta is a nirjalaha megaha, samvartaha tu mahodakaha, pushkaraha dushkarajalaha, dronaha samyak prapurakaha. So these are the 4 types of clouds that come at the that come during the end of the pralayam. So avarta is nirjalaha, he says that it could not refer to this kind of a Pushkara and Avartaka, but it could be that also. It is only the imagination of Ashwatthama saying, nobody has seen Pralayakala clouds, right? But it is just an imagination of his side. He can imagine whatever he wants. So it could be Avarta and Pushkara that he is imagining also. So Avarta is a Nirjalaha Megaha. It doesn't have water. Samvarta has a lot of water. Pushkara has Dushkaraha Jalaha. Dushkaraha ityukte, it is probably Mahodaka is just a deluge, but Dushkaraha Jalaha is something that is difficult for us to bear. So it must be like hail or something like that. And Dronaha Samyak Prapurakaha ityuchate. So Prapurakaha, it is a slow and steady rain which fills up the entire bhumi with that water. So it's not something that destroys, at the same time it fills up. So all of these things happen during Pralayam. All four are possible. But our Ashwatthama mentions only these two Megha, which is Pushkara and Avartaka. Tayoho Prachanda Ghana Garjita Pratirava Anukari. Now this sound that he hears from the battlefield is Anukari. It seems to imitate the echo of the clouds Garjitam, of the roar of the clouds, which is Prachandam. Ghana Garjitam itself is, it means that it is the sound or the thunder which is Prachanda, which is very terrible. And Ghana is not Megham. You take the meaning of Ghana as Gambhira. So, Bhayankara Gambhira Garjitasya Pratiravasya Anukari iva vartate Yuddhat Agataha Ravaha Shabdaha. Is it clear? So the sound that comes from the battlefield, it imitates the Pratiravam. Pratiravam is an echo. It imitates the echo of the thunder, which is very frightful and very deep, Ganam. Of what? Of the two Pralayakala Megha, which is Pushkara and Avartaka. And that Pushkara and Avartaka, if they are just standing, there will be no rumbling of thunder. They have to hit against each other for thunder to come out, for the sound. So that is enabled by the Maruta, by the wind that flows during Mahapralayam. Okay. So Mahapralaya Maruta Kshubhita Pushkara Avartaka Prachanda Ganagarjita Pratirava Anukari Muhuhu Ravaha. So that Muhuhu, you take it Muhuhu Stagita Rodasi Kandaraha or Muhuhu Shravana Bhairavaha. Again and again, because it is like an echo, you seem to hear that noise flowing from the Yuddhakalam. One group after the other seems to echo that sound also. So it seems like the sound is coming again and again, and it's terrible for the ears. It is completely filled the hollow between the heaven and earth. So he is wondering, where has this come from, which is completely unprecedented. It is not seen before at all. Rava Shravana Bhairavas Tagita Rodasi Kandaraha Kuto Adya Samarodade Abhuta Purva Puraha Vichintya. Now he analyzes whose it could be. Dhruvam Gandivina Satyakina Vrikodarenava Yavvana Darpat Atikranta Maryadena Parikopitaha Tataha. He says, my father would have been probably Dhruvam Nischayena Atra. Definitely, my father would have been angered or enraged by Gandivi. Gandivi is Arjuna here. Gandivi is Arjuna. Arjunena. Satyakina. Satyaki is Yadavaha. Vrikodarena or by Bhima, who have crossed the Maryada. They are in a battle here. And at some point they might have slipped on the propriety that they should have followed. Maryada is the bounds, proper bounds. They must have crossed it. Atikranta Maryadena, out of Darpam, out of the arrogance that they have because of the Yavvanam. And the Yala Rattongala, Adanala, they might have just crossed their limits and behaved in a very inappropriate manner to my father. So my father is probably angered here, and that is why this sound has come. So parikopitas tataha yataha samullanghya yataha yasmat karanat, because of atikranta maryada karana or maryadasya atikramanat samullanghya shishya priyatama samullanghya shishya priyatam atma prabhava sadrisham acheshtate. Shishya priyatam samullanghya. He also, Drona also, he did not consider that these are my pupils. அடிக்கட்டுமே அப்படின்னு சில சமயம், when a child comes and hits us, இன்னும் நாலு போடுன்னு நம்ம, it's that was one way of showing குட்டி குழந்தை. I'm not talking about but it's not right. You don't do that to a child, otherwise you can't teach the child what is right and wrong, இல்லையா? ஆனா அது ஒரு attitude இருந்தது முன்னாடி, அதுக்கு சொல்றேன். So shishya priyatamaam samullanghya, he samullanghya ityukte leaving aside, he let go of his love for his pupils, love for his disciples, and atma prabhava sadrisham acheshtate, he is probably acting in a manner that is appropriate to his prabhava, to his prowess. Tatha he says this shloka here. Yeah.
Mahodaya, the Kali Yugam was started right after the Mahabharata, Kurukshetra war ended. So Kurukshetra war was marking the end of that Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. So can those Megham and all be really the Pralaya Kala Megham?
No, there is no Megham here at all.
The Pushkara.
The sound. Amama, there is no Megha here. He says, Meghasya garjitasya pratiravasya anukari anukaranam karoti ityeva tatra vartate. Natu sakshat tatra meghau vartete.
So that means he also could experience that and then comparing it with that, right? How it would sound and all, he should have a little bit.
இதெல்லாம் வந்து imagination, அவ்வளவுதான்.
Okay.
இப்ப காதே வெடிச்சுடுத்து நீ சொன்ன போட்ட சத்தத்துல அப்படிங்கிறோம். காது வெடிப்பு யாராவது பார்த்திருக்கோமோ? அப்புறம் எப்படி சொல்றேன்? Which means you have experienced it and you are saying your ears are bursting? No, nobody has experienced that ear bursting, yet we use it as an expression every day. Why? It's just an imagination, அவ்வளவுதான்.
Okay.
यद दुर्योधन पक्षपात सदृशं युक्तं यद अस्त्रग्रहे रामाल लब्ध समस्त हेति गुरुणः वीर्यस्य यत्साम्प्रतं लोके सर्वधनुष्मताम् अधिपतेः यच्चानुरूपं वृषः प्रारब्धं रिपुघस्मरेण नियतं तत्कर्म तातेन मे. So नियतं मे तातेन तत्कर्म प्रारब्धं. So नियतं निश्चयेन मे रिपुघस्मरेण तातेन तत्कर्म प्रारब्धम. Okay, यत् इति यत् padam. The rest of it are all yat padam. So the tat padam is at the end here. So the action nischayena. So definitely my father who is ripu ghasmarena. Ghasmaraha is a person who eats or destroys all his enemies. இல்லையா? கஸ்மரங்கிறது அது எதுல இருந்து வந்தது? பக்ஷணசீலகா கஸ். ஐ திங்க் இட் இஸ் அத்தியில இருந்து வருதோ இல்ல கசுங்கிற தாத்து. எஸ், घस धातु एव घस्मरः. So घस्मरः भक्षकः, one who is a destroyer. Literally it means devouring, completely destroying them. So ripu ghasmarena, my father who destroys people, destroys the enemies. Niyatam nischayena tatkarma prarabdham. That sort of a work has been started by my father, which is appropriate or which is everything inge vandu, it is only, he says it is appropriate to what the pakshapatam, his favoritism towards Duryodhana. It is appropriate to the weapons that he carries. It is appropriate to the learning that he has got from Parashurama. And it is also appropriate to the anger that he carries as a as the best among the archers. So I am sure he has started something, he is doing something which is fit to be done by someone like him, someone like my father. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து இந்த பில்டப்பே எதுக்குன்னா to show the pride that Ashwatthama has in his father and how he completely breaks down and then goes through stages of grief when he hears about the news of his father's death. அதுக்காக there is this build up. See, we as an audience, we know what is going to happen. Yeah. So this intensifies in our mind. The rasam intensifies more in our mind because of these things. So the pride the child has in his father. Yet Duryodhana pakshapata sadrisham. First one. So he has started a work that is sadrisham, that is fit for the pakshapatam that he has towards Duryodhana, for the favoritism that he shows towards Duryodhana. So in other words, Arjuna, Bhima or Satyaki must have started something. So to show that he is loyal to Duryodhana, Drona must have attacked. And this is the sound that comes from the retaliation that Drona is doing. Yad astragrahe yuktam, that which is appropriate for his profession, as in his astragraha, taking arms in his hands. He must have started some work because he must have taken arms in his weapons in his hands, and he must have started something which is proper for the proper because he is wielding those weapons. Ramat labda samasta heti gurunaha viryasya yat sampratam. Yat karma, that work which is sampratam. Sampratam, again yuktam, that is the meaning of sampratam. Sampratam can mean immediately, right now, adhuna, adya, whereas sampratam also means yuktam. So yat karma yuktam, viryasya yuktam. So that which is worthy of the viryam, the bravery that was given to him by Parashurama. Parashurama is Drona's guru. So Ramat labdha samasta heti gurunaha viryasya. The viryam, the prowess, which is guru, which is extremely great, mighty, because he has got, because of all the heti here ayudha visheshaha. So samasta heti hetayaha tu labdhaha kasmat Parashuramat. So Ramat labdha samasta hetayaha vartante taihi guru tasya viryam. So it is an adjective to viryam here. So his prowess, which is very great because of the weapons and the knowledge of the weapons that he has got from Parashurama, your lineage matters, your academic lineage matters here. Not only that whose son he is ingarthu illa. From whom he has gotten the knowledge of weapons also matters. Guru oda yaar gurun kepalya அந்த மாதிரி. So Ramat labdha samasta heti gurunaha viryasya yat sampratam, that which is also worthy of that prowess. Loke, not only that, see, one is he has chosen the side of Duryodhana. The other is anybody who is having a weapon and who is in that situation will ஒரு சத்தத்தை கலப்பிண்டு தான் வருவான் இல்லையா. So will start a sound like this, which is natural. The third is, if he has come from such a lineage and learnt from Parashurama, so you have to imagine how much of a great personality Parashurama was. His anger is it's known, right, as two avatars before. So everybody by then should have been aware of Parashurama's actions of killing Kshatriyas. So imagine his Shishya, he would definitely show that kind of a prowess. That is the third. Not only that, has he proven himself? அதெல்லாம் இருக்கலாம். Anna, he would have been given a proper atmosphere. He would have been given the proper weapon in hand. He must have studied from someone. But practicala undum pannalenna. He needs to have a practical experience also, right? Not just bookish knowledge. So that is the next one. Loke sarva dhanushmatam adhipatehe rushaha yat cha anurupam. That work which is anurupam, which is again fit for, which is very worthy or befitting, appropriate to the rushaha, to the anger of an adhipati, of the head of all dhanushmatam adhipatehe, sarva dhanushmatam adhipatehe. He is the head of all the archers in the world, loke. See, he has proven himself. He has gotten a name that he is the best among all the archers. So, if such a person is angry, then automatically the sound that comes from such a person would also be extreme. That is why Ashwatthama is comparing the sound to Mahapralaya. Yeah. So, loke sarva dhanushmatam adhipatehe yaccha anurupam rushaha. See, there are 4 words he uses. Sadrisham, Yuktam, Sampratam, and Anurupam. All these 4 are used as Parayavachi Shabda here. It should not be Punarukta. Even if you use the same meaning, but you should use different words in a shlokam. Yad Duryodhana Pakshapata Sadrisham Yuktam Yad Astragrahe Ramat Labdha Samastaheti Gurunaha Viryasya Yat Sampratam Loke sarva dhanushmatam adhipatehe yaccha anurupam rushaha prarabdham ripughasmarena niyatam tatkarma tatena me. So naturally, I think my father has started something which is befitting his role. So yeah, any doubts? Okay. Prishtataha vilokya. Tat kotra ratham upanayatu. Athava alamidanim mama ratha pratikshaya. So he looks immediately, when he realizes that his father is probably, not realizes, when he thinks that his father is probably doing such a sound, he wants to immediately go and help his father. So he looks behind and says, Tat kaha atra, yarange, adu. So who is there? Ratham upanayato, bring my chariot. Athava, alamidanim mama rathe pratikshaya. See, he has to wait because they have to navigate through the whatever, through channels, and then he or the person who is standing behind has to go and inform someone, and then that his charioteer has to bring the ratham. So there is so many process that goes on. He is more agitated and he thinks he has to go immediately and help his father. So he says, Atava alam idanim ratha pratikshaya. Enough of waiting for the chariot. Sashastrayava asmi. I am with the weapon here. So, sajala jaladhara prabha bhaswarena supragraha vimala kaladhauta saruna amuna khadgena yavat samarabhuvam avatarami. So, with my sword, khadgena yavat samarabhuvam avatarami, I will now get into the, அதாவது களத்துல இறங்குறேன்னு தமிழ்ல யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். Avatarami, let me descend into the battlefield. So, Samarabhuvam Avatarami, let me get down. Yavat is in the meantime. Even before the Ratham could come in, I am with the weapon. I am not without weapon. I helplessa pola. So, I have a weapon with me and that is enough for me. So, Amuna Khadgena, along with this sword. How is the sword? Sajala Jaladhara Prabha Bhaswarena. Swords are not white or gold or something like that. It is black in color. Okay. So, the comparison here is, it is bhaswara. It is luminescent. It has a light, a prakasha, like that of a jaladhara, a cloud that is filled with water. So, a cloud which doesn't have water is white color. So, that which is filled with water has a dark luster to it. So, sajala jaladhara prabha bhaswarena khadgena. The next is supragraha vimala kaladauta saruna. Saru. Saru ityukte the handle, hilt, That hilt of a sword is called tsaru. It's a conjunct consonant which starts it sa abdi aramikkum. Very few. I don't know if there is another word that starts with it and sa. No idea. So tsaruna, tsaruhu asya asti iti khadgasya visheshanataya tatra uktam. So kidrishaha tsaruhu kaladhauta tsaruhu. So kaladhauta atra suvarna. The hilt is gold, but the sword itself is black, dark in color. So the hilt is made of pure gold, supragraha, which is easy to hold. Ergonomic handle supragraha, that which can be easily held. So sukhena grihyate iti. So supragraha, vimala, pure kaladhauta, golden saruna with a hilt, that which has a hilt which is made of pure gold and easy to grip. Tadrisha khadgena, with such a sword, let me get into the battlefield. Parikramya vamakshaspandanam suchayitva. He goes around because now he has to show that he is entering into the battlefield. So as he walks around the stage, he indicates that his left eye is throbbing. Left eye throbbing for men is supposed to be a bad omen. Aye, mamapi nama ashwathamnaha samara mahotsava pramoda nirbharasya tata vikrama darshana lalasasya animittani samara gamana vighram utpadayanti bhavatu gacchami. As soon as he indicates that his left eye is throbbing, he says, why, how come I who want to go and see, another help kuda illa inga. Help pandradina, it's not as if Drona needs the help of his son Ashwathama. Adange reason parango, Tata Vikrama Darshana Lalasasya mama. I am eager to see my father's bravery here. Adha. Tata Vikrama, Tatasya, Tatahangardu Pita. So Pituhu Vikrama Darshane Lalasaha Aham. So Adrishasya mama Animittani Santi Atra iti. Yeah. Another thing, he is giving an adjective to himself. Adenna mamapi nama ashwathamnaha. Yanakku kuda va அப்படிங்களா அதான் அது அந்த மமாபி நாம அப்படிங்கணும். The tone with which you say is அது ஒரு கர்வத்தோட வரணும். மமாபி நாம அஸ்வத்தாம்னா, அஸ்வத்தாம் எனக்கே வா, இந்த மாதிரி துர்நிமித்தங்கள் வருதா அப்படின்னு கேட்க. So mamapi nama ashwathamnaha samara mahotsava pramoda nirbharasya. I am filled with the pramoda, with the happiness of this festival called battle. And it's like an adrenaline rush for them. It's not something that is ஒரு இது கிடையாது. It's not a cause for grief or anything. Adalla later. If you are adukku munnadi, as you approach the battle, it's an adrenaline rush which gives you happiness here. So pramoda nirbhara, he is filled with happiness here because of the Samara Mahotsavam, because of the festival in the form of this battle. Tata Vikrama Darshana Lalasasya, and he is also eager to see the prowess or the display of prowess of his father. For me, who want to go and see this, enna solradhu illa Samara Gamana Vignam Utpadayanti Animittani in the evil omens seem to create an obstacle to me who am going to the battle, which is a joy for me. Okay, and I also want to see my father's Vikrama. Clear? But he brushes it aside. He doesn't give much attention to it. Sometimes, our feelings and expectations and that will cloud our judgment. Yeah? That is what is happening here. See, he realizes that he has some Vamakshi Spandanam. The left eye is throbbing. So it is a Ashubha Suchakam. but he ignores it and he says bhavatu nama, let it be, gachami, it doesn't matter whether it will be an obstacle or not, I don't care, let me go. Iti savashtambam. Avashtambam nama garvam parikramya agrataha vilokya. With ஒரு கர்வத்தோட, sa garvam, he roams around. So ஒரு இதெல்லாம் வந்து we have to imagine how the stage would be and how he would go half a circle and then he would realize that his left eye is throbbing and then say a dialogue and then again go around. Say there is only one person there and it is a monologue that is going on. There is nobody on the stage with him. He has to make the audience also engaged with him. So these things happen here. There is some movement there. Yeah. So savashtambam parikramya, he roams around and agrataha vilokya, he looks ahead and says, katham avadhirita kshatra dharmanam ujjita satpurusha uchita lajja avagunthananam vismrita swami satkara laghu chetasam द्विरद तुरंगम चरण चारिणाम आगणित कुल यशः सदृश पराक्रम व्रतानां रणभूमेः समन्तात् अपक्रामताम् अयं महान् नादः बलानां. He thought initially it was his father's prowess and his father making such a sound. Now he sees people are running away from the battlefield. So that is the sound that is coming now. Katham, idenna abdingrame ada. Katham mahan balanam mahan nadaha ayam. How come this is the great sound of the armies which are rana bhumehe samantat apakramatam balanam mahan nadaha. This seems to be a great sound that comes from the balanam, from the sena, from the armies which are running in all directions away from the ranabhumi, away from the battlefield. எங்க பார்த்தாலும் தலதறிக்க ஓடுறதுங்கிறது தான் இங்க. சமந்தாத் everywhere. From the battlefield they seem to be dispersing away from the battlefield. Apakramatam, moving away. So this shashti bahuvachanam, everything else is an adjective to this balanam. So kidrishanam balanam. Prathamam, avadhirita kshatra dharmanam. They seem to have ignored their kshatriya dharma. Kshatra dharma here is to stand and fight. So they seem to have disregarded their kshatriya dharma. So avadhirita kshatra dharmanam. The next is ujjita purusha uchita lajja avagunthananam. So ujjita satpurusha uchita lajja avaguntananam. Lajja or shame is like a veil for good people. So adada veil is something that covers the face and gives you that propriety. So for good people, satpurushanam, uchitam avaguntanam kidrisham vartate, lajja eva tesham uchitam avaguntanam. Tari lajja kimartham, lajja nama, it is not a being ashamed, adavadhu akarya karane lajja eva tatra. Kshatriyanam yad uchitam karyam tattu samare sthitva, fighting is the proper action that a good person has to do as a kshatriya. So if he does an akaryam which should not be done by a kshatriya, then they feel ashamed. So they should not feel ashamed. That lajja becomes a veil for them. Now they seem to have discarded and shamelessly they are running away from the battlefield. Adan. So ujjitam avaguntanam. Tatra anvayastu ujjita shabdasya avaguntane vartate. Satpurushanam uchitam avaguntanam kim lajja. So lajja eva avaguntanam. Shame is the veil for them, which is appropriate for good people. And these armies, those who belong to the armies, have let go of that veil. Now they are shamelessly running away from the battlefield. Is it clear? So they have disregarded the kshatriya dharma. Kshatriya dharmata vidu. They should at least be like good people who do their duty. Even that they are not doing. They should feel shame. They don't feel that shame also. Next is Vismrita Swami Satkara Laguchetasam. It's okay. You don't think of it as a duty. You don't think of shame. At least and the shame and drink uppu thinnirkom alliyongra madri. Vismrita Swami Satkara Laguchetasam. Swami Satkara, the honor that the Lord has shown for them, that is Duryodhana. The honor that has been done to them by their master, they have forgotten that also, Vismritam. And they show their Laguchetas, they show their small-mindedness by forgetting the honor that their master has done to them. Okay, the next is Dvirada, Balanam adjective. So Dvirada, those who are in the elephant, who are sitting on the elephants are also behaving in this manner. Turangama, those who are on the horses. Charana, Padati, Charinam, everybody. All three Rathathila irukaravala patti pesala adanga. At least maybe those who are on the Ratham are more they are witnessing the incident. So that is why those people who the armies which are all on the Ratham are not being described here. Only those people who are on elephants and horses and those who are on foot. Charinam, Balanam, Aganita Kula Yashaha. Ma'am, can you explain? Illa, sorry. Idu vandu ore word.
If Ratham also joins in the running away, then it will be a stampede.
Vrathama, purila.
No.
Rathama. Yes. So this is one word here. It is not two words. Aganita Kula Yashas Sadrisha Parakrama Vratana. Abdi irukano. It is, they seem to have a Parakrama Vratam. Adavadhu, they have taken a vow of valor, which is sadrisha, which is equal to a person who does not think about the fame of his lineage. அதாவது குல புகழ கவனிக்காம இவ பண்ணக்கூடிய ஒரு பராக்கிரமம் விரதம். Any vratam that they have taken, they have decided that if there is a problem, they will run off. That is, they are not thinking of upholding their prestige. So they have taken a vow of valor which does not uphold the family prestige. And they are willing to give up their prestige and run away from the battlefield. Is it clear? So Katham Avadhirita Kshatra Dharmanam, those who have the armies seem to have disregarded their Kshatriya Dharma. Ujjita Satpurusha Uchita Lajja Avaguntanana, they seem to have let go of their shame, which is an appropriate veil for good people. And Vismrita Swami Satkara Lagu Chetasam, they seem to have a very small mind, small-hearted people, because they have forgotten the honor that their master have given them. Such, and the Aganita Kula Yashas Sadrisha Parakrama Vratanam, they also seem to have a valor that is equal to people who don't regard their family prestige at all. So they don't think about their reputation of their families. They seem to behave like such people. Tadrisha, those who are fighting on elephants, horses and foot, these armies seem to be flying away, apakramatam, they seem to be moving away from the Ranabhumi, and the noise that is coming seems to be from such armies which are fleeing away from the battlefield. Clear? Nirupya haha dhik kashta katham ete maharathaha karnadayaha samarat parangmukhaha bhavanti. Or nimsha இன்னும் இருக்கு. சரி, from here we'll stop with this. We can start next class. Any doubts till now?
Nirupya means what, Madhya?
நன்கு பார்த்துன்னு அர்த்தம். சம்யக் அவலோக்ய இத்யர்த்தः. ஏன்னா, see, he is approaching the battlefield. First he sees armies running away. Then he can identify each one of the people who are there. That's why he says Maharathaha Karnadayaha api. Karna and others are also Samarat Parangmukaha. They are turning their face away from the battle. How is it? Avadin kekra. Okay?